Hey guys, I'm Chris Dorr and here we are on a lake tributary when it's been raining hard for 48 hours. The river's come up and it's quite coloured. Now a lot of people are going to sit out and wait for fresh water, wait for the water to clear before they get onto the river. However, we know something they don't. We know that this is going to get the fish moving. You just got to be able to find them and give them things they can see and things they want to eat or attack. Today we're approaching it with big streamers. The crew are using floating lines, slightly longer leaders and big, highly visible streamers, whereas I'm going for an Airflow Streamer Max sink tip line, integrated sink tip, and I've got about 3 feet of heavy 10 pound to 12 pound tippet going to quite a large dark silhouette fly. My thoughts are I want to get my fly out there, mend it, get it deep, and do long, smooth swings into the shallow water, into the resting water. The other crew are going to be fishing up through the shallows, pitching upstream, letting the fly, hit the water and strip it fast, bring it down to where the fish are going to be, and when it tugs, tug back. Look for the resting positions. Don't be afraid for the fish seeing you. They can't see out too well in fast water. Be careful with heavy footfalls. Work big flies that fish can see through the sort of water they're likely to move up and rest into. As you can see, the fish would have made their way out through all that heavy white water. The first bit of resting water they've got is in that V at the junction and all the way up this side. If you do have visibility and you can't see them in the edge, focus on getting your fly just over into the fast stuff, just into the dirty water you can't quite see into. That's where they'll be holding, that's where they'll be resting, that's where they'll be ready to chase and eat. And don't spend too much time on the same bit of water either. My thoughts are the fish are going to hit the first time they see the streamer, and most likely the first couple of metres of their chase. In the background here, Hannah's making a cast, fishing it through, walking downstream, covering new ground each cast. You'll see a Gucci bit of water. The first shot should be the shot that the fish is going to eat if they're there and they're going to play. If not, move on, or you could spend a lot of time catching no fish in water where they just don't want your fly. Now, swinging flies for fish is going to be one of the easiest ways to get onto trout in dirty water. Simply cast your fly out, mend if you need to, walk it downstream for more depth, let it swing in, and when the swing starts to slow, start stripping. So here's Shannon's swinging a drop off. She's pitching across stream or slightly downstream, simply letting the current swing the fly around to stripping slowly or stripping in short, quick movements, just to give the fly a bit of imparted action, give the fish something to chase, make them think it's getting away so they've got to engage. Casting downstream to avoid a lot of currents, a lot of drag, letting it swing, and she's stripping it immediately, following around with the rod tip, just keeping it at a slight angle to absorb the shock of the take.
I'll keep working this little edge until maybe pick one up and...
He came and hit it on the top.
And he came and he hit it on the top.
Presenting a streamer upstream and ripping it down to the fish often activates the trout's territorial, more aggressive behaviour. Instead of pitching a fly downstream and letting it swing in, where the fish can just follow it in and either eat it or not, chase it out of its territory, not having to engage, if your fly is coming straight at the fish, fast and aggressively, he's likely to hit, even if he's not feeding. So find water on the edge of currents, pitch it upstream, keep that line under your trigger finger so you can start stripping immediately, so you're in immediate contact. Strip from the elbow and aggressively, because that will often end up as your strike. But just throwing a pair of high-vis, large stonefly nymphs. You're seeing something tight against the edge, the resting water off the fast current. So you don't need long casts here. These fish aren't going to see you. There he is. He's got him. Nice. Perfect. If nymphing, consider methodically nymphing the colour change, just along the seam where you can't see into rock lines or current seams. Hannah's using a big, bright green stonefly under an indicator here. Very short trace between the indicator and the nymph. So she's going to be straight on it when those fish hit. Methodically working it. They might not hit the first pass, but if you've got the best of the water in front of you, why not make the most of it? Hey, so it's not just a case of getting out there and finding dirty water, finding the river and going and fishing it, but being able to handle the flies that you must present. And you notice I use the word present. It's not a case of just throwing a fly out there randomly and landing it here, there, or everywhere, just wherever it lands, fishing it and hoping. That's not going to catch fish. You've got to land that fly, present it exactly where it needs to be presented, mend it how it needs to be presented, and get it through the water where the fish are going to be holding. So we're talking. Hey, so in considering your high water flies, consider weight in particular, because even shallow looking water is going to be swift. You may need that extra bit of weight, the extra tungsten bead, the extra bit of split shot or loon deep soft weight to get down. If you're not down where the fish are, you might not be catching them. Also have a consider larger but lighter flies, because in that soft standing inside corner stuff, the standing water, the resting water we've been discussing, you don't want anything too heavy that's going to sink straight down and snag on the bottom. So quite often unweighted or lightly leaded stone flies with long rubber legs, things to activate, things for movement to get noticed, bloodworms, anything like that can certainly be the key. And same with streamers. I do carry a variety of heavy streamers and especially light streamers too for that type of water. Pitch them, give them a second to sink a touch, rip them back. In regards to fly patterns, I'm a big fan of stone flies. You can pack a bunch of different colours on them. You can go as bright as you want. You can go as dull and natural as you want. You can pack a load of weight on them, or you can just keep them with lots of rubber movement and unweighted if you need to. Bloodworms, of course, just something about that colour seems to activate fish. Now, the fish won't necessarily eat the bloodworm, won't eat the squirmy or whatever you choose to tie. So that's why I'm always trailing a little nymph, probably about a foot behind, and that is what the fish are often going to be attracted to. Finally, streamer patterns. I want something with movement. I want something that contrasts. I'm usually carrying a big, strong silhouette like something black. I'm also carrying something light, like something white or something lighter in colour to contrast with that. I don't think you need all the colours and tones in between. It's the movement and the silhouette that the fish are going to hone in on. As well as something big, I always carry Mystic Listers as a smaller pattern, size 8 and size 4. Something that's going to be a bit smaller, a bit more subtle if the fish are shying away from those big bits of meat. Now don't forget you can go heavy with the tippet there. We're talking 10 to 15 pound breaking strain tippet. You know, these fish aren't looking at the tippet. They're not looking for a drag-free presentation of a tiny little size 18 emerger. These fish are focused on the meat that you are throwing. What you want to do is be able to hold them in the heavy flows, because you won't necessarily be able to chase them downstream any great distance. You've got to be able to get them in. You've got to fight them hard. You've got to bring them in so that they can be released without a long, drawn-out fight. Quite often you're still using very long leaders with nymphs because you still need to get the fly down. You need something that presents less drag to that heavy water. So we're still using long leaders to present more of a finer presentation to the fish. If you're having trouble presenting these flies, have a look at our lockdown lessons on the Manic Tackle Project Facebook page and have a look at throwing bigger flies, making bigger flies easier. And we'll discuss elliptical casts, widening the casting arc, slowing things down, and imagine towing the fly through the air with the rod tip rather than flicking it with the rod tip. And again, focus on the inside bends, focus on the areas immediately above fast water where they'll come up through the fast water, then they'll sit. They'll often push right into the edges. Look for those tiny little slicks alongside fast water. It might only be half a metre of calmer sort of water against the bank, but that's where they'll move into. That's where they'll rest. That's where they'll hold. Don't neglect those undercut banks. Again, cover, shelter, and resting positions. What are your thoughts on fishing dirty water?
No, it's good. It's my favourite.
Yeah. What would your plan of attack be on a run like this?
15 pound Maxima and a big streamer. Yeah, chuck some meat, bit of profile.
Perfect. Lots of movement or slow swing?
Oh, bit of both really. Starting close, small strips, and then upstream presentation, downstream presentation, fast retrieve, or just a dead drift as well if you spot a fish there and stripped it past, doesn't want it. Sometimes the dead drift doesn't.
Great stuff. That advice is dirty as that mode. Yeah. Hey, so don't sit at home or stay in the hut. The river's high and dirty. Find a nice, first of all, safe beach with a bunch of inside edges and resting water that you can access and you can get out of if you need to. Fish appropriate flies with appropriate techniques, and you never know, you could have the day of your life. Hey, dirty water is something to learn, not something to be afraid of and something to run from. Hey, I'm Chris Dorr, and I hope you enjoyed this first segment. Take care, cheers.